Alright, I don't know much about anatomy, but I know a thing or two. Number one, your head, it houses your brain, right? So it needs to be round. It needs to have volume. It needs to be like a sphere. You really want to get anatomy right? Make sure you get the shape of the head right. For I don't know what people usually get wrong. Arms. Here we go. Basic, real basic torso. Hold up. So at the beginning, at the very shoulder, there's your shoulder muscle. That's usually a spherical. It's round. It's thick. Then you have your bicep, which from the front usually is flat. Your elbow and then your tricep is what makes your arm look thick. So right here comes in. This is your elbow, and your elbow is just like a bone. It doesn't have much meat, so it should become thin as you reach the elbow. And then you have your forearm. I don't know what it's called. But your forearm usually has meat on this part, and then becomes thin as it reaches your wrist. The other side usually does not have a lot of meat, so it's just one long curved line, and then you reach your wrist, and it becomes very thin, right? And your hands are usually, I don't know how to measure proportion. You're just gonna have to like kind of trial and error it. Also, if your wrist ends up being too thin and it looks weird, go ahead and make it thicker. There's no problem there. Okay, right now I can see. Make sure you check. You just think, does this look right when you're drawing? If your anatomy looks fine, because right now my character looks stressed as hell because the shoulders are straight. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna lower them so they fall down, and he looks a bit more relaxed. I mean, we're already here. The legs, there's meat on this part. That's your quads. I believe that's what it's called. And then your crotch should end around here, I believe. Hopefully I'm right. Maybe more? Perhaps right there. I don't know. Just, try and error. And you can start working right your way down. Okay, I don't know how deeply you want me to go into this, but let's say he was naked, alright? Uh, his quads would be really rounded, and then they would come into his knees, right? Just like the elbow. You get your calves right here, but there's usually a curve right here because there's a part that has meat. That's your calves, and then they become thin as they reach the ankle. Same thing as the elbow, right? It looks like he's wearing shorts. You could even argue that he is. This is on the side, by the way. It's very. It really pops out when it's on the side because this is on the back of your leg. From the front, it would just look the same, like that. Thick and then thin, thick and then thin. This would be actually like your knee would be like right here, and then all the way to your ankles, and then you get your foot right here. And that's about as much help as you're getting from me because I still have things to learn, but this is pretty simple stuff. This looks wrong. Hold up. Same thing as a bicep. The front of your leg is actually like this thin, and this is all on the back, so that's why it shows like that, in case you wanted to know. I don't know. And I know this is not the best looking stick man you've ever seen, but this looks bad though. Again, anything that looks questionable, just go back and try to fix it. That looks fine. I hope. It's actually, this looks more like it's like this, but this is like completely sideways, so that's gonna hurt a lot. Yeah, it's a bit better. And then just try to, make it feel as if his arms are long enough for him to reach his pockets. Going over everything, shoulders go down, shoulder muscle is round, skinny when you reach the elbow, there's meat over here, there's usually not meat on the other side. So then you thin it out when you reach the wrist, the hands should be around that big. This one actually looks small in comparison to the other one, just there you go. The quads reach the knees and it becomes thin, and then you get your calves, which are usually thick, and then they become thin as they reach the ankle, and then your foot. And this is, believe me, it's very watered down, but it can maybe make a good reference for a drawing, a better drawing. Keep in mind that your clothes will hide a bunch of the curves unless they're really tight. But you know, drawing them will actually make you keep them in mind. Yeah, um, what a way to waste my afternoon, honestly. But, I mean, if you've only drawn, cartoony stuff all your life, this is step one towards achieving a less cartoony style. Don't stay here, by the way. By all means, please watch better videos. This is just like bare minimum, I suppose. But yeah, I probably won't be making any more tutorials like this because I can't draw. Look at this. But hopefully you learned at least one thing from here. So you're welcome and goodbye.